Good evening from Roland Garros, land of red clay, and for a change, land of gold medals. This is Christopher Clarey, longtime tennis correspondent for the New York Times, now a full-time author and still co-host of the Olympic Tennis Daily as we head into the home stretch of these games in Paris.
Bonsoir Chris, bonsoir à tous. Je suis Romain Vinot, tennis journalist, your French accent during the Olympics, and the fellow countryman of Valentin Madouas and Christophe Laporte, who traveled all over Paris on their bikes today to win silver and bronze just a few minutes before the French judoka won team gold. I'm a happy man tonight, Chris.
Well, Romain, I have lived long enough in Paris to know that's a rare thing for a Parisian. So I'm happy. I'm happy for you. But you're perhaps not quite as over the moon as the tennis players who won gold medals, or perhaps any medals today on the court Philippe Chatrier at Roland Garros. All the medals are meaningful, but the most impactful certainly looked to me like it came in the women's singles, where 21-year-old Zheng Qinwen of China went out and played like her nickname, Qinwen, against Donna Vekic of Croatia. Zheng was zen, quite an achievement considering the stakes, and her 6-2, 6-3 victory makes her the first Chinese tennis player to win an Olympic gold medal or any medal in singles. Not even Li Na, the most important figure in Chinese tennis history, managed to do that. So what'd you think, Romain?
You know, Chris, despite the pressure and the enormous stakes involved for her and her country, it was not the Qinwen's most difficult match during this week. She played matches lasting over 3 hours, saved a match point against Emma Navarro, and most importantly, of course, beat the invincible Iga in the semi-final. And she was the favorite in this last match in the final against Vekic, and at only 21, she pretty good assumed her status like perfectly. And you talk about Lina, and it was nice because her celebration was really beautiful, because it was exactly the same as when Lina won the Roland Garros in 2011. Yeah, 11.
2011, yeah,
2011, yeah. And you know, she was very happy at the end of the match and during her press conference. But more important for me, she seemed like liberated. She said that she would like to be a role model, of course, for young players. But I think this gold medal would probably, yeah, allow her to be more relaxed. She said that, and she wants to just enjoy tennis more than she has until now. And you know, Chris, it's a reminder of just how much pressure this player are under during their career.
No, it's true. So we both wrote about this this match today, this final.
Yeah.
I wrote about it in English for the ITF site. You wrote about it in French. So I'm curious, what was your in journalism? We always talk about the lead. What's your lead? What's the beginning of the story? What did you lead with? What did you start with today?
Yeah, it was that she was pretty cool on court and after, and was yeah, I think she evolved a lot since her final at Melbourne on January, and yeah, she was like pretty calm, pretty sure, and it's a big achievement for her. So of course my piece was about that.
Yeah, well, me, I kind of went at it knowing that people would have already got the result, and so I was looking at some of the things that she was saying in Chinese and Mandarin, because I listened in with that and got some help with the translation, and quite interesting. And so for me, it was sort of a sense of how did she find a way to raise her game to this level. Obviously, she had some struggles. She had to save a match point, as we said, against Emma Navarro in the third round. She had to come back from 1-4 down against Angie Kerber, super inspired in the quarters, and then she had to come back from love 4 down against Swiatek. But she was really good today. She seemed very, very composed and all that. So I was just curious what process was like for her to get to that space in her head. And I wrote about the fact that she really found a lot of strength in a surprising place for me. She said one of the things that she did quite often in the last few days was she went back and watched videos of Liu Shang, who people may not
Oh,
remember, but he was the first Chinese, first Asian to win the men's 110-meter hurdles in the
yeah,
Olympics. He did that 2004 in Athens. It was a huge deal in Chinese culture when that happened. And obviously, it was 20 years ago, and Zheng is just 21 years old, so she was too young to watch it. But she's gone back and heard a lot about it. And she said, in the past few days, I have watched this video many times to motivate myself. And the fact that Liu Shang was 21 years old, facing this huge moment in the Olympics, and she is 21 years old and was facing that moment, was really something that she found a lot of belief from. And I think that was interesting that she went back and kind of went into history to try to find that. And she also said she picked up on all the vibes from all the Chinese athletes doing so well and winning their golds, and silvers, and bronzes in other events at the Olympics. And that was something that gave her a sense of calm. But she said, you know what? I felt I had better shots going into the match than Donna Vekic, who she'd played before. And I think I had, at this stage of my career, I was probably better with my shots. But I learned that the shots don't really matter. It's all in the head for her. And I think that was her victory today, was that she was able to come on that court with all that was at stake, all those Chinese flags waving, all the focus. She said her father had talked about the Olympics as the most important tournament all through her childhood. And her father obviously was a huge factor for her, kind of a driving force. She sounded grateful for that, not resentful about that. But I guess he's always emphasized the Olympics. So she had a lot on her shoulders. And you think about Iga Swiatek, whose father was an Olympian and obviously emphasized the Olympics quite a lot to Iga and her sister. And Iga didn't really handle the moment as well in the semifinals, and Zheng really did. And so today, to me, was a brilliant performance. I thought she handled the adversity that came her way. It was a tighter match than the score probably indicates, and she showed a lot of mental strength in
yeah.
her ability to kind of reboot, keep going, not show a lot of emotion. And I almost feel like the fact that she beat Iga was in some ways bigger for her than winning the gold. That was my impression from watching her reaction. Anything else that you noticed, Roma?
No, she was really really strong mentally, and during the match, because I watched a lot Vekic during Wimbledon, and she loved she loves thrillers, and I was just thinking like, yeah, maybe she can make a comeback during the beginning of the second set, because she was break earlier, and just she Vekic react really fast, and no, Qinwen was just yeah, flawless. It was really nice to see her just keep cool on the court and play her games, and won this match pretty easily, like you said, because 6-2, 6-3 in final, with this pressure. It was really impressive.
Yeah, she had to fight through some tough moments in the match, and definitely, and great
Yeah.
points. I thought she played really well coming forward to the net. We should say, just to finish up what we talked about yesterday, Iga Swiatek got her bronze medal today. All
Yeah.
three of them were on the podium, with Vekic obviously and Zheng, and Iga looked very happy, looked very fulfilled to look at her bronze. And after seeing the disappointment that she felt from losing the match to Zheng, it was nice to see that I could sense, was taking a lot of pride in that medal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And
the other big medal of the day was in men's doubles. And as we talked about throughout the tournament, we talked a lot about Alcaraz and talked a lot about Andy Murray and all the singles stars and great players playing doubles at the Olympics. But it came down to a doubles specialist final between Matt Ebden and John Peers from Australia, both in their 30s, against Rajiv Ram, 40 years old, and Austin Krajicek, also in his 30s, from the USA. So it was an all doubles specialist final. And it was, as you might imagine, extremely close. Came down to the wire, and Ebden and Peers, in Olympic doubles, there's a match tiebreaker to finish if you split sets. They split sets 6-7, 7-6, went to a match tiebreaker, and it was 10-8. So it doesn't get a whole lot closer than that. And Ebden and Peers ended up with the gold. Australia ended up with its only second gold at the Olympics in tennis. And the other guys who won it, Mark Woodford and Todd Woodbridge, called the Woodies. They won that in Atlanta back in the day, and they and Mark Woodford was actually in the stands, who we had on our show earlier this week. Mark Woodford was in the stands and watched it, and we helped, celebrate with the Aussies afterwards. But it was a very tight match. What were your impressions, Roma?
The whole specialists were back on court today, and the Ebden peers rallied back from a set and a breakdown to triumphs today in the super tie break. And we spoke to Mark Woodford last weekend, and he told us how special it was in his career to have won the games. And today's winner said more or less the same thing. The crowd lifted big time, and Ebden said John played an amazing super tie break, and somehow we are gold medalist. Like he's still surprised at the end of the match. He said it's more than a dream, and for my part, Chris, it was just a really super thought match and high quality match. It was maybe the best doubles promotion we have seen since the start of the tournament. There was a huge amount of speed, incredible dexterity and at the net, and incredible movement by the both pairs. And the Australians were down by a set and a break, like we said, but they never gave up. And perhaps the point that best summarized this match was when Pearce found himself almost in the side stand to save a smash in the super tie break, and he and Ebden still managed to win that point. And just it was really nice to assist at this match.
Yeah, you could probably say that was the only court in the world where he could have made that shot, because I'm not sure everybody realizes, but the Philippe Chatrier court is, I think, might be the biggest. It's the biggest and widest court in terms of the playing surface and where you can go all the way to the wall like that of anywhere. So there was room to roam. I know Rafa Nadal has taken big advantage of that over the years with his speed. Carlos Alcaraz, who we're going to talk about in a little while, hopefully we'll be able to use his speed against Novak Djokovic in the same way. But that was a heck of a get. And they ended up 9-5 in the breaker, the Aussies, and then the Americans saved 3 match points, 3 championship points, and then Pearce came in, hit a fantastic low forehand volley, deep, landed on the baseline and skidded. Austin Krajicek missed the shot, hit it back in play, and then Pearce volleyed it away. So it really was down to the wire. And at the end, it was, I really felt for Rajiv Ram, I have to say. Ram's 40. He's had a great career. Amazing how long he's been able to last, like a lot of great doubles players. But he was really hoping for the gold. He had a silver medal with Venus Williams at the Rio Olympics in mixed doubles. He really geared up for this. They had knocked off Nadal and Alcaraz in doubles here, and I think felt very confident about this match. And they were up a break in the second set, a set and a break, and he was serving and couldn't hold. And I don't think Rajiv overall played his best tiebreaker either. So at the end of it, he's a classy guy, and he was in his chair with a white towel over his head. I'm just sure absorbing it, and it must have been very, very hard to accept. But still, 2 silver medals. That's a heck of an achievement for anybody. And then also, you had to smile. Those guys are a community in doubles. You had to smile seeing Ebden and Pearce, who both live in Perth, Australia. They're actually, neighbors who know each other well, and their families know each other well. And Ebden has his wife and his very small son here, and Pearce had his 2 daughters here with his wife. And so it was a very family affair, very, very wholesome Aussie affair. What did you think about that?
Yeah, it was nice to see the crowd and the family on the stand. And then, they are very close. It's like the best friends just won a medal at the Olympics. The story were great, and we talk a lot in this podcast about the doubles with the big stars of the singles who play the competition, but at the end, the specialists won, and both pairs of specialists were in final. So it was like also to see, of course, Taylor Fritz and Tommy Paul on the podium because they won 6-3, 6-4 against Mahach and Pavlacek. So I think really this this double in the Olympics was really a great promotion of the discipline.
Yeah. We should say that Fritz and Paul got the bronze and Ram and Krejcik got the silver. So 2 medals for the U.S. today. This is also the second Olympic medal for Piers, who won the bronze in mixed in Tokyo with Ash Barty. And so he's got 2 medals. And he was talking today about how already the bronze, for his daughter back in school, he's been taking the bronze medal to school to show off to all the kids and show and tell and what a big deal it is. And now he was saying you can upgrade that to gold, and so it's going to be quite the scene at the school for his daughters, bringing that in to show off. And it's funny because I was talking to Bob Bryan, who's a great doubles player, won the Olympic gold in London with his twin brother Mike, and he's coaching the U.S. team and coaching Krejcik and Ram here, and he was saying that the only one of his many trophies and prizes he keeps in a safe is the Olympic gold medal. And the only time he brings it out is to send it to his daughters or his children's show and tell every year at school. So there you go. Win a medal, and it comes in handy. This is pretty cool places.
Yeah.
So now, Romain, we got to talk about what everybody's talking about probably already. Who cares about tennis and even beyond? I mean, Alcaraz, Djokovic. We talked about it again yesterday, and we'll talk about it some more now and tomorrow, and hopefully beyond, because it's the best. I think it's the best matchup in tennis right now in terms of what the buzz it creates, and honestly the fireworks that it has created. But we should say we don't know who's going to win gold and silver yet. That's tomorrow, but we do know who won the bronze. Lorenzo Musetti earned that, and I do mean earned that, with a 6-4, 1-6, 6-3 victory tonight in the last match on Chatrier over Felix-Auger Aliassime, Canada. And I think Musetti should get some consideration for a marathon medal as well, considering that he came in here from Umag, Croatia, after losing in the final the very next morning, and ended up going all the way to the bronze medal in singles. So I think he's going to have a long rest on some Italian beach somewhere before he hits the U.S. Open and all that. But Alcaraz, Djokovic, number 7, it's 3-3. What are your thoughts today compared to yesterday?
Oh, yeah, I saw Djokovic today on practice, and yeah, you only had to be in the stadium to understand just how much excitement there is for this match. The crowd present for today's match is packed into the alleys and along the court where Djokovic had been training. Everyone wanted to see him and judge maybe how he felt. I don't know if it's possible to know that, but Djokovic might not be in the form of his life this year, and perhaps even less so since his right knee operation, but his motivation is still enormous, and he proved during the week that he's still an incredible tennis player. And maybe the last 2 matches between between Carlitos and Nole have been a little disappointing in terms of suspense, because it was 6-3, 6-2 for Djokovic during the ATP finals, and 6-2, 6-2, 7-6 for Alcaraz in Wimbledon. But the stakes involved in this encounter will make it special and exciting. And Chris, I'm sure you will agree with me. Just because it's a 2-set match doesn't mean it won't be as good as a Grand Slam match, because everyone remembers their breathtaking 3-hour and 49 minutes battle in the final in Cincinnati last year. Djokovic ripped his shirt from his body, and I personally lost my voice and my fingers typing on my keyboard like a madman. So didn't you, Chris? Like last year, it was amazing, and we hope for that kind of match tomorrow, right?
Yeah, it was it's a best of 3 set match, like you said, and it was so amazing that we actually know it lasted 3 hours, 49 minutes, and 20 seconds, which is the longest any Masters 1000 final has ever lasted since they started in 1990, which is a good stat until you consider who played in those. Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, Murray, Sampras, Agassi, all those. So it becomes a great stat when you think about that. And it was an exceptional match, and Djokovic had to save a match point to win it, and Alcaraz pushed him to the limit in the final set and saved break point after break point. I think he saved 4 championship points of his own there. It was just, ultimately, in some ways, it was more of a roller coaster ride than the Wimbledon final that Alcaraz won before that. And I think there was certainly more suspense near the finish line in that match. So we kind of hope to get back to that. And I agree. I do think, like I said yesterday, the more I think about it, I don't change my view. I think Alcaraz is for me, a solid favorite. I think I'd say 60-40 just based on what happened at Wimbledon, based on the fact he just won the French Open. Clearly, he's been playing a little bit better each match, it looks like to me, here in singles. And now he's free of the doubles and can really let it rip. But I just have to feel like Djokovic has something special still in him. Maybe it'll just be a set. Maybe it'll be more. But he definitely has that ability to lock in. And you can see it sometimes in this tournament where he's been able to sort of just shut it down, stop making errors, and make things happen. And what I love about their matches is that it really isn't a contrast of styles, Romain, because they can play any style on any surface. I mean, it's not like, one guy's attacking, one guy's defending. It's not like one guy is serving ball and the other guy is trying to pass him. It's everything. They can do everything.
Yeah.
Maybe, and I think Alcaraz is more spectacular. It's because he's so airborne and has this amazing way to make every shot look. Sometimes the easy shots look hard, But Djokovic is elasto man, and he can go into the corners and slide and all that. So it's a great matchup. I hope it lives up to its potential. It already has in other matches. Hopefully, it'll really hit a high note for everybody tomorrow. And obviously, Novak Djokovic, this is it. I mean, this is the one thing that he is missing. He's never going to get the true Grand Slam, I don't think, winning all 4 the same calendar year, even though he had all 4 at one time in his possession. But this is the one thing he really, really wants that he's missing. So I'll be curious to see how he handles the mental challenge of that.
So Alcaraz is your favorite, Chris, but in 2 or 3, you have to play the ITF predictor, Chris.
Well, I'm gonna say 3.
Okay.
But you're right. The ITF has launched a World Tennis Predictor game, as people may know by now, and they better know by now because this is the last one. You can choose a winner from 3 Olympic matches each day. If you make the most correct picks at the end of the event, you'll win some prizes. I got some news on those today, and they're pretty cool. But tomorrow, you don't need to be a genius to figure out what the matches are because there are only 3. So we have Karolina Muchova and Linda Noskova from the Czech Republic playing Kristina Buxa and Sara Sorribes-Tormo in the women's doubles bronze medal match. Then you have Djokovic Alcaraz, and then you have Sara Errani, Jasmine Paolini, Mira Andreeva, and Diana Schneider. Paolini and Errani are Italians. Andreeva and Schneider are neutrals, and they're playing in the women's doubles final. So those are your 3 matches, which brings us to, Romain, your moment, the French expression, which is hopefully not the last.
No, not the last, but I know there is a French expression that you like, Chris, which is jouer petit bras, meaning to play without ambition, without panache, or any chance of success, and which literally translates as playing with short arm.
Playing with a short arm. I love that. That's great. Yeah.
But during this Olympics games, it was impossible to illustrate this expression. So it's just for your pleasure because all the players fought so hard and shone so brightly. It was impossible. And I'm telling you, it's probably not going to be used tomorrow for our last podcast, Chris. I don't think so.
Well, I thank you for that present, Roma, and I look forward to our last one tomorrow, and I look forward to a great final day at the Olympics. These have been a really resounding success, seeing the crowds and the quality of what's been on display here the last 8 or 9 days. So we'll look forward to more tomorrow. Good night, everybody.
See you tomorrow. À demain.